Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Lucy Bartholomew before the 2019 Western States 100. How are you, Lucy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back to the U.S.
Thank you.
You've been here for quite a while.
Yeah, so I've been here for a month now and up in Squaw for the last week, and so yeah, it's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, obviously Australia is a huge continent, but how does sort of the terrain and climate around here relate to where you live in Australia?
It's different. I think like the heat is different, the humidity is different, but your diversity here is incredible. I mean, we were running the Flume Trail yesterday, we were in the mountains, then we were in Auburn, and we were in snow and hot, and it's just crazy that you can have that all within a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, or say a 19-hour run.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll take the drive.
Yeah, until Saturday when you'll have that experience. So, I mean, last year, it wasn't a record hot year, but it was a fairly hot year for Western States. This year is not going to be. Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to that?
You know, I think I thrive off the heat.
Yeah.
I love running in the heat, and I follow the summers, for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of, the hotter for me, the better.
Yeah.
And I didn't find last year that bad, so I think this year, I'll probably find it cold.
Yeah. So speaking of following things, the previous couple years, you raced not an insane amount, but a lot of miles, a lot of kilometers, a lot of time.
Yeah.
Especially even leading up to Western States. This year was quite different. Why is that?
Yeah, I think on reflection, I look back and I think I raced the race before the race. All these races, you feel like you do well and you feel like it wasn't too hard, but I think that I was already kind of digging into that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that and then follow that up with the Western States was a lot. So this year I really wanted to just do the training and really just focus on, ticking boxes, but not in the race format.
Yeah. So do you think your preparation went well then?
It's been up and down. I don't think I don't feel like I'm in the same shape as last year,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really excited. I'm really happy to be here, and I feel like with 100 miles, like even the fittest person can have, not the best day.
Yep.
So maybe I'm not the fittest, but maybe I can have a good day.
Yeah. But you also haven't dug yourself into a hole yet.
Well, that's what I'm holding on to. Yeah. So I'm very optimistic that I'm a lot fresher this year, and I think that will pay dividends in the 100-mile distance.
Yeah. I don't think it's much of a surprise that sort of Courtney is a runaway favorite right now. She ran a great rate last year.
Absolutely.
Do you think you or someone else can knock her off on Saturday?
I think it's awesome just to stand on the start line with Courtney. She's an idol of mine. I think, she's a hard one to beat. But if I can stay with her for a little bit, then that would be a win to me.
Yeah. So a year out, last year you had ran great. You ran third place in your 100-mile debut. It wasn't your longest race because you'd run TDS.
Correct.
5 minutes slower.
Yes.
But what a year later, how can you reflect back and what does that effort mean to you, that outcome?
Yeah, it means everything to me. Western States was something that I learned about when I was 15 when I got into the sport, and so I really just wanted to tick the box and do it. So to be able to do it twice is such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have my family here is even better to be able to share it with them. So yeah, it meant a lot to me. But at the end of the day, it's just a race. And I think that what means more to me about this race is the community.
Mm-hmm.
The month I've spent in Auburn before the race, hanging out with the race director and all the guys and seeing what goes behind the scenes, and just becoming part of the family. That means more to me than any buckle or any race.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything from last year's race?
Yeah, just a few things.
No, but okay, what?
Yeah, so I learned a lot that for 100 miles you have to eat a lot. So that was a big thing. In 100K races, I've gotten away with kind of just eating watermelon and just drinking Coke. But for 100 miles, it really hits you. So that was kind of one thing that I didn't do well last year. And I think it was because I was in the excitement of the race and to be leading the race at some points. You run through checkpoints and you just want to get back out there and keep going, and you feel like stopping's going to hinder your race, but actually it betters your race. So that's going to be something that I'm really focusing on. I remember Tim Tweetmeyer gave me 3 pieces of advice before the race last year, and it was, don't get to the top of the escarpment first.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And then, stop at Robinson Flat and eat something solid to go into the canyons with. And I didn't do that. And then get to Forest Hill ready to race. And I got to Forest Hill, done. So this year I'm Tim, I'm going to follow your advice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're changing up your eating plan. Does that mean eating more along en route, or does that mean like at aid stations, like stopping for 3 minutes and actually eating a sandwich, or
a little bit of both?
Okay.
Yeah, so I've kind of been like, that's something that I've been focusing on, and so I plan to just like carry more things. I know kind of what works for me. I think that I just thought you had to have gels, and you just don't. So I'm realizing there's other things out there.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can keep them in the mix.
Oh,
You will.
totally. Yeah,
but it's not
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, 19 hours of just gels is a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And not a lot of fun either.
No.
Does the change from a really hot year to a more moderate year, do you think that'll change how you are able to fuel?
Yeah, I think so. I think that one of the things that really got me last year was, when you are in the canyons and it is warm, nothing really sounds appealing, especially not a gel that's like at a really hot temperature. So I think that'll allow, you won't be working probably as hard because of the heat. Your body will have a bit more energy to spare for digestion. And I think with like the snow and like that slowing us down in the first half, I think that'll allow for like earlier fueling. Mother Nature will pace us through the first bit. So I think that will lead to a stronger back half.
Do you plan to force that time on the snow at all? Or?
Hell no. I'm Australian. I'm not good on snow. I'm just going to, follow the person in front of me and try and stay upright.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's interesting. In a year like this, you're on the snow, and you don't have, like, a track to follow. It's really interesting. You can kind of, like, team up with people and...
Totally, yeah.
And course fine. And rather than competing those first 10, 15, 20 miles.
Right, yeah. I think it's going to be a real, Western States is always a special time to stand on the start line with friends. But, yeah, I think we'll be working together for that first bit. And I feel like that's the best way to start a race, especially 100 miles, is, kind of having that fun aspect and just working together and enjoying for what it is, and the beauty of the snow and the mountains. Before then, we have to start running. Yeah.
And if it's 10 miles to get finish, you'll be racing.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah. Yeah.
Plenty of time for that. Well, good luck, Lucy, and have fun out there.
Thank you so much.